Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily English Lab podcast. Let me guess, you studied English for years, you know the grammar rules, you have a decent vocabulary, but when you speak, something feels off. Native speakers pause when you talk. They ask you to repeat yourself. And worst of all, you sound like you're reading from a textbook, not having a real conversation. Here's the brutal truth. 90% of English learners sound robotic, and it has nothing to do with grammar or vocabulary. I'm talking about rhythm, melody, and flow. The good news? I'm going to show you exactly how to fix this in the next 7 days using 5 simple techniques that transformed my students from sounding like robots to sounding like real people. If you're tired of feeling awkward when you speak English, stick around. This might be the most important video you watch this year. If you're new here, I'm your English coach, and I help non-native speakers break through the barriers that keep them from sounding natural and confident. We focus on real English, not textbook English. So, why does this robotic sound happen? Think about it. When you learned English in school, you probably focused on perfect grammar, spelling tests, and written exams. Nobody taught you about the music of English. Nobody showed you how native speakers actually connect words, where they stress syllables, or how they use rhythm to sound engaging and natural. And here's why this matters more than you think. When you sound robotic, people perceive you as less confident, less friendly, and sometimes even harder to understand, even if your grammar is perfect. But when you master natural flow, doors open, job interviews go better, social interactions feel easier. People actually want to listen to you. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to teach you 5 game-changing techniques. First, we'll tackle word stress and why you're probably stressing the wrong syllable. Second, I'll show you sentence rhythm, the heartbeat of natural English. Third, we'll dive into intonation patterns, the melody that makes you sound interested instead of bored. Fourth, I'll reveal the secret of connected speech, how native speakers link words together. And finally, we'll cover emotional expression, because robots don't have feelings, but you do. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Comment below right now and tell me, what's your biggest struggle with speaking naturally? Is it sounding too formal, speaking too slowly? Let me know, because I read every single comment and I create videos based on your challenges. And if you're serious about improving your English, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap to natural-sounding English. All right, let's fix that robotic English together. Let's start with word stress, because this is where most of the robot sound comes from. Here's the thing. English is a stress-timed language. That means some syllables are loud, long, and clear, while others are quick and quiet. When you stress the wrong syllable, words become unrecognizable. Imagine you're in a coffee shop and you say, "I'd like a desert," instead of "I'd like a dessert." You just told them you want a sandy wasteland, not a chocolate cake. Or you say present when you mean present. You're talking about a gift instead of showing something. Word stress isn't just about sounding natural, it's about being understood. Most learners make 3 critical errors. First, they stress every syllable equally, which creates that choppy, mechanical sound. Second, they stress the wrong syllable because they're translating stress patterns from their native language. Third, they avoid stress altogether and speak in a flat monotone. Let's practice some common words. Say these with me and really emphasize the capitalized syllable. Number 1, photograph, not photograph. Number 2, photographer. Notice how the stress moved? Number 3, photographic. It moved again. Here's another set. Economy, not economy. Economic, the stress shifted. Economical, still on that middle part. One more. Interesting, 3 syllables, not 4. Interesting. Comfortable, comfortable, not comfortable. Practice moment. Pause this video right now. Go to any English article or book you have. Pick 5 words with 3 or more syllables. Look them up in an online dictionary that shows stress marks. Practice saying them with exaggerated stress. Make the stressed syllable really loud and long. I'm serious. Pause and do this now. This 30-second exercise will change everything. Here's your memory hack. Think of stressed syllables as the heartbeat of the word. Your heart doesn't beat evenly. It has a strong thump followed by quieter sounds. Boom, ba, ba. Comfortable. Boom, ba, ba. Interesting. Feel that heartbeat rhythm. I once had a student named Maria who couldn't figure out why her colleagues kept misunderstanding her in meetings. She'd say, we need to analyze the data, instead of we need to analyze the data. People thought she was saying something completely different. Once we fixed her word stress, her confidence skyrocketed. She told me later that people started taking her ideas more seriously, not because her ideas changed, but because they could finally understand her clearly. Quick question for you. What English word do you always struggle to stress correctly? Drop it in the comments and I'll tell you the right stress pattern. I'm curious to see what words trip you up. Okay, so you've got word stress down. But here's the problem. Even with perfect word stress, you can still sound robotic if you don't understand sentence rhythm. And that's exactly what we're covering next. This is where things get really interesting. All right, let's talk about sentence rhythm, because this is the difference between sounding like a GPS navigation system and sounding like a real human being. English sentences have a natural beat, a rhythm pattern that native speakers follow automatically. When you miss this rhythm, you sound choppy and unnatural. Think about music. What makes a song catchy? The rhythm, right? The same applies to speaking. Native speakers don't give equal time to every word. They rush through some words and slow down on others. They create a flow, a groove. When you speak with proper rhythm, people actually enjoy listening to you. Your English becomes pleasant to hear, not exhausting. Here's what most learners do wrong. They give every single word equal weight and equal timing. I want to go to the store today. 6 words, 6 beats, robotic as it gets. Or they pause in weird places, breaking the natural flow. I want to go to the store today. That's even worse. Let's practice the same sentence with natural rhythm. We're going to stress the content words, the important ones, and speed through the function words. Ready? Robotic version. I want to go to the store today. Natural version. I want to go to the store today. Notice how want to became wanna, how to the blended together, how store got emphasized, and the rest flowed quickly. Let's try another one. Robotic. Are you going to the meeting tomorrow? Natural. Are you going to the meeting tomorrow? Or even more natural, you going to the meeting tomorrow? One more. Robotic. I have been working on this project for 3 months. Natural. I've been working on this project for 3 months. The stressed words get longer and everything else rushes by. Here's your practice. I want you to say this sentence in 2 ways. First, say it robotically, with equal stress on every word. What do you want to do this weekend? Now say it naturally. What do you want to do this weekend? Feel the difference. The natural version has a bounce to it, a rhythm. Do this 10 times right now. Seriously, out loud, exaggerate it. Feel that rhythm in your body. Think of English sentences like a path with stepping stones. The content words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, question words, are the big stones where you step firmly. The function words, articles, prepositions, helping verbs, are the little pebbles you skip over quickly. Big step, skip, skip, skip. Big step, skip, skip. Big step. That's your rhythm pattern. I remember working with a software engineer named Raj who was brilliant but struggled in presentations. His ideas were amazing, but people kept zoning out when he spoke. Why? He gave every word equal importance. We worked on rhythm for just 2 weeks. He practiced speaking with a metronome, emphasizing key words and speeding through the rest. His next presentation, people actually leaned forward in their seats. Same content, completely different delivery. Rhythm changed everything. Here's my question for you. Do you naturally speak with rhythm in your native language, or is your native language more syllable-timed, where every syllable gets equal length? Let me know in the comments. I love learning about how different languages work. So now you've got word stress and sentence rhythm. You're probably sounding way more natural already, but we're missing something crucial: the melody, the ups and downs of your voice. That's intonation, and it's about to blow your mind. Let's dive into intonation, which is basically the music of your speech. It's how your voice goes up and down as you talk. And here's something wild. You can say the exact same words with different intonation and completely change the meaning. This is why native speakers sometimes think you're angry or bored when you're actually excited or interested. Intonation carries emotion, attitude, and meaning. When you speak with flat intonation, you sound disinterested, cold, or even rude, even if that's not your intention at all. But when you use natural intonation patterns, you sound engaging, friendly, and emotionally intelligent. People want to continue conversations with you. Most English learners fall into 2 traps. First trap, flat intonation. Your voice stays at the same pitch level the entire time. Think about a weather forecast robot. Today will be sunny with a high of 75 degrees. No emotion, no variation. Second trap, wrong intonation patterns. Using rising intonation when you should go down or vice versa. This confuses listeners because the melody doesn't match the message. Let's practice the basic intonation patterns. First, statements go down at the end. Listen, I'm going to the store. Voice goes down on store. That was a great movie. Voice goes down on movie. I'm really tired today. Voice goes down on day. Now, yes/no questions go up at the end. Are you coming to the party? Voice goes up on party. Did you finish your homework? Voice goes up on homework. Can you help me with this? Voice goes up on this. But what questions, who, what, when, where, why, how, they go down. Where are you going? Voice goes down on going. What time is the meeting? Voice goes down on meeting. Why did you say that? Voice goes down on that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Watch how intonation changes meaning. You're leaving. Statement, voice down, neutral fact. You're leaving? Question, voice up, surprised, want confirmation. You're leaving? Emphasis on your, voice up, shocked it's specifically you. You're leaving? Emphasis on leaving, voice up, surprised about the action. Try this exercise. Record yourself saying, "Really?" 5 different ways. Excited, skeptical, bored, surprised, and sarcastic. Each one uses different intonation. Listen back and notice how your voice moves. This is how you develop intonation awareness. Seriously, pull out your phone and do this right now. It takes 30 seconds and it's incredibly powerful. Here's how to remember intonation patterns. Think of statements as a ball rolling downhill. They finish low. Think of yes-no questions as a ball bouncing up. They finish high. Think of what questions as a ball being thrown down. They start high and finish low. Visualize this, and your brain will automatically adjust your pitch. One of my favorite student success stories involves a woman named Yuki from Japan. In Japanese, intonation patterns are very different from English. She kept using flat intonation in English, and her American coworkers thought she was always upset or angry. She wasn't. She was just speaking with Japanese intonation patterns. We spent 3 weeks on English intonation, and she told me her relationships at work completely transformed. People started inviting her to lunch, including her in conversations, treating her more warmly. Nothing changed except her melody, her intonation. Question for the comments section. What's the hardest emotion to express in English for you? Excitement? Sarcasm? Sympathy? I want to know because emotions are conveyed mostly through intonation, and I can create a video specifically about that. Okay, you're getting word stress, rhythm, and intonation. You're probably sounding 70% more natural already. But there's one technique that native speakers use constantly that you're probably not using at all. It's called connected speech, and it's the secret sauce that makes English flow like water. Let's get into it. What is connected speech? Connected speech is what happens when native speakers link words together, blend sounds, and basically make English sound like one continuous stream instead of separate, isolated words. This is why native speakers sometimes think you're speaking too fast. They're not. They're speaking faster. They're connecting their words. When you pronounce every word separately and clearly, two things happen. First, you sound overly formal and unnatural, like you're giving a speech at a formal event. Second, you actually become harder to understand because native speakers aren't used to hearing English spoken that way. Connected speech isn't lazy English, it's real English. It's how the language actually works in conversation. The biggest mistake? Pronouncing every single word as a separate unit with clear pauses between them. Do, you, want, to, go, out, tonight. That's how you read, not how you speak. Another mistake is being afraid of contractions and reductions. Learners think using gonna or wanna is improper, but that's actually how native speakers talk 99% of the time in casual conversation. Let's look at the main connected speech techniques. First up, linking consonant to vowel. When a word ends in a consonant and the next word starts with a vowel, we link them together. Come over sounds like come over. Take it easy sounds like take it easy. Turn off sounds like turn off. What are you doing sounds like what are you doing. Next, contractions. These are essential. I am becomes I'm. You are becomes your. He is becomes he's. I would becomes I'd. They will becomes they'll. Now, reductions. Function words get reduced in natural speech. Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Got to becomes gotta. Should have becomes shoulda. Would you becomes woulda. Did you becomes didya. And finally, sound deletion. Sometimes sounds completely disappear. Next week. The T disappears, sounds like next week. Most people, the T disappears, sounds like most people. Probably, sounds like probably, not probably. Interesting sounds like interesting, not interesting. Let's practice a full sentence with all these techniques combined. First, the textbook way. What are you going to do this weekend? Now, the natural way. What are you going to do this weekend? Try it 5 times. Each time, try to blend those words more smoothly. Feel how your mouth barely stops moving between words. That's connected speech in action. Think of connected speech like a river. Water doesn't flow in separate drops. It flows continuously, adapting to the landscape. Your words should flow the same way. When you speak, imagine your sentences are water flowing downstream, not rocks falling from a cliff. Smooth, continuous, adaptive. I worked with a French speaker named Pierre who was so focused on perfect pronunciation that he articulated every single sound distinctly. He sounded incredibly formal, almost Shakespearean. The problem, in his tech startup, this made him seem disconnected from his team. We practiced connected speech for just 1 week, focusing specifically on contractions and reductions. He felt like he was speaking bad English at first, but his team told him he suddenly seemed more approachable and fun to work with. That's the power of speaking naturally. Pop quiz time. In the comments, write this sentence the way it actually sounds in natural speech. I'm going to go to the store because I've got to buy some groceries. Let's see who can write it most naturally. I'll give you a hint. It's way shorter than you think. All right, you now have 4 powerful techniques: word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, and connected speech. But there's one final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important one. It's about bringing your personality into your English. Let's talk about emotional expression. Here's the truth that nobody talks about. You can master all the technical aspects of pronunciation and still sound robotic if you don't bring emotion and personality into your speech. Native speakers don't just speak words, they speak feelings, attitudes, opinions, and personality. This is what makes conversations engaging and memorable. When you speak English without emotion, you create a disconnect. People can't tell if you're joking or serious. They can't feel your enthusiasm or empathy. They can't connect with you on a human level. But when you express emotion naturally, everything changes. You become memorable. People enjoy talking with you. Conversations feel real and meaningful instead of transactional. The biggest mistake? Using the same tone and energy level for every situation. Speaking about your weekend vacation with the same flat affect as describing a boring report. That's robot behavior. Another mistake is being over-controlling your speech, being so worried about grammar and pronunciation that you forget to actually communicate your feelings and personality. Let's practice the same sentence with different emotions. The sentence is, I can't believe you did that. Excited and happy. I can't believe you did that. Disappointed and sad. I can't believe you did that. Angry. I can't believe you did that. Surprised. I can't believe you did that. Now, let's try, that's interesting. Genuinely interested. That's interesting. Sarcastic disinterest. That's interesting. Surprised and intrigued. That's interesting. One more. Thanks. Warm and genuine. Thanks. Sarcastic. Thanks. Quick and casual. Thanks. Here's your challenge. Think of the last conversation you had in your native language. Remember how you felt during that conversation? Were you excited? Frustrated? Happy? Worried? Now, say one sentence from that conversation in English with that same emotion. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Focus on bringing that feeling into your voice. Record it and listen. Can you hear the emotion? If not, exaggerate it even more. Remember this, FACE, face, attitude, commitment, energy. Before you speak, put the right expression on your face. Think about the attitude you want to convey. Commit fully to that emotion. Don't hold back. Bring appropriate energy to your words. FACE. This acronym will remind you to bring personality to your English. My student Carlos was technically excellent at English. Perfect grammar, great vocabulary. But in job interviews, he kept getting rejected. Why? He sounded completely emotionless, almost robotic. We worked on emotional expression, practicing how to show enthusiasm when talking about projects, how to express thoughtful concern when discussing challenges, how to demonstrate confidence without arrogance. His next interview? He got the job. The interviewer later told him it was because he seemed genuinely passionate and engaged. Same person, same skills, different emotional expression. Final question for you. What emotion is hardest for you to express in English? Is it excitement, empathy, confidence, humor? Drop it in the comments because your answer will help me understand what video to create next. And there you have it, the 5 techniques that will transform your English from robotic to natural in just 7 days. But before you go practice, let me show you the 3 mistakes that will sabotage all this hard work if you're not careful. Let's talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that will keep you sounding robotic even after learning everything I just taught you. Mistake number 1, over-focusing on grammar. I see this constantly. You're so worried about using the correct tense or the right preposition that you speak incredibly slowly, monitoring every word before it comes out. Here's the truth. Native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time in casual conversation. What matters more is natural flow and clear communication. If you have to choose between perfect grammar with robotic delivery or minor grammar errors with natural flow, choose natural flow every single time. You can fix grammar later, but sounding human should be your priority now. Mistake number 2, speaking too slowly. Many learners think speaking slowly makes them clearer. Sometimes it does, but often it makes you sound unnatural and disconnected. Natural English has a rhythm and pace. When you speak too slowly, you lose that rhythm. You break the flow. Here's the fix. Don't slow down your entire speech. Instead, pause between complete thoughts. Speak phrases at natural speed, then pause, then continue. That's how native speakers actually talk. They don't drag out every word. They speak in natural paced chunks with pauses in between. Mistake number 3, practicing in your head. This is huge. You cannot develop natural-sounding English by practicing silently in your head. Your mouth needs to build muscle memory. Your ears need to hear what you actually sound like. Your brain needs real feedback. I don't care if you feel silly talking to yourself. Do it anyway. Practice out loud every single day. Record yourself. Listen back. Compare with native speakers. Speaking is a physical skill, not just a mental one. You need physical practice. Remember, these 3 mistakes will completely undermine all the techniques I taught you today. Avoid them, and you'll see transformation in days, not months. All right, let's quickly recap the 5 techniques that will fix your robotic English in 7 days. Number 1, word stress mastery. Remember, stressed syllables are loud, long, and clear. Unstressed syllables are quick and quiet. Think of the heartbeat rhythm. Boom ba ba. Number 2, sentence rhythm. Content words get stress and time. Function words get rushed through. Think of stepping stones. Big steps on important words, quick skips on little words. Number 3, intonation patterns. Statements go down. Yes/no questions go up. WH questions go down. Your voice is the melody that carries emotion and meaning. Number 4, connected speech. Link your words together. Use contractions. Reduce function words. Let your English flow like water, not fall like rocks. Number 5, emotional expression. Bring your personality into your English. Use the FACE technique. Face, attitude, commitment, energy. Don't just speak words, communicate feelings. Practice these 5 techniques for just 15 minutes a day for the next 7 days, and I promise you will notice a dramatic difference. Your English will sound more natural, more confident, and more engaging. You've got this.